Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to make a fair project sign using VCarve Pro and the Shapeoko 3. So let's get started. Okay guys, we're going to create a new project. We are going to make it 18 by 12 by 3/4 inch thick. We're going to be making a sign that goes above the show ring for like 4-H or FFA for a show animal. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a rectangle vector all the way around the outside. We do not want radius corners, so we're going to square those off. Okay, so we've got that one. Now we do want to offset this one, and we're going to offset it inwards 1 inch, so that'll create a second vector inside of that one. Now, this one I do want rounded corners, so we're going to go in there and edit this to radius internal 1 inch. And that gives us our radius corners. Okay, so now we want to start with what we're going to put in here. So let's start with the name. So let's go to text, and we want to start in this area. We do want to do the Acme font, and that's probably pretty close in the height. So let's start with his name, and I'm going to do all caps. I thought I was going to do all caps. There we go. So let's move this over. We want to go in this area here. Then we'll do his last name over this area. And we can move that over. Space it now. We can adjust this later. Okay, so we have the name. Now, it's still kind of boring, right? So let's add some images to it. There is a 4-H clover that's easily accessible on the internet. So we are going to find that real quick. And we're going to paste that in here. And we can move that around. About there. Okay. So now they've requested goats on this, and they actually do show goats. So we're going to go same thing. We go on Google, find images of goats, and we can go into Paint and edit it if we need to. For this particular one, I'm going to put right here, just on the outside of the R. Now what I'd like to do is take and flip this one and put it on this side. So we're going to highlight it. We're going to flip horizontal and create a mirrored copy. Now I can move this over, and let's make it a little lower so we're on a different plane. There. Okay, so that's the basics of the design. So now let's get into our VCarve. So what we want to do is we want these letters to be sticking out instead of being engraved. And in order to do that, we have to highlight the outer vector as well. But if I do that, it's going to have everything on the screen pocketed. So what we're going to have to do is go back into our drawing tab, and I want to create an outside vector around these at the very outside so that we don't get the insides pocketed out. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight these, and we're going to create a boundary, and we're going to say 0.01. We want it as close to it as we can get it. So let's create that. So now you see now there's a boundary outside, a vector boundary outside of that vector. And we want to do the same thing for both of these. There. So now when we do our V-carving, this is correct. Now we're going to highlight all of this, but we want to unselect the inside vectors. And I'll show you why when we do our preview. So let's go, we want to go ahead and use our clearance tool so we can use our clearance tool on all this here. The bit we're going to use is the 302V bit. This is a carbide bit, and we are going to be using MDF today. So 302, select, and we want to add, we're going to add our 1/4 inch end mill upcut, and we're also going to add our 1/8 inch end mill upcut, and these are all MDF. So let's take a look at that. Let's calculate that and see what we're going to get. And I've got mine on high quality on the preview, so it does take a few minutes, but you do get a better view of what you're actually going to see. I do apologize for the little delay here. Okay, so good. If you look at it now, you'll see that our goat and our goats and our clover are not cut out, which is what we want. So now we can go back and do a separate VCarve strictly for the design we want on the inside of here. So we can go back into our 2D, and now we want to highlight the inside vectors. Careful not to highlight the outside. And we're going to go into VCarve. And again, we don't need any clearance tools on this one. But we are going to use a 60-degree V-bit with a 1/4 inch depth of cut. And we calculate that. So now if we reset our preview all toolpaths, you'll get the first cut, and then also show you the detail on the second cut. Perfect. So now you have this will be a pocketed cut here. It's cut back. Your name will stick out, and so will your clover and your goats, but you still have the detailing on the V groove, on the V-carve. So that is what we're going to cut out. So we will go into, close this, highlight all of our toolpaths. We select Save Toolpath, and we select Output All Visible Toolpaths to one file. Here are all your different bits. So we select, we're going to use the Tool Change toolpath, or post processor. So we'll save that, and we'll take it over the machine and let's cut it out. Now comes the fun part, sanding and priming. Sand that down again, and now time for the paint. When that dries up, hit it with some clear coat, and you're good to go. Hope this was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.